Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding.
Here.
Hug is absent. Melton. Mr. President.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for opening remarks and a proclamation by Councilmember Pete Festerson.
You can be seated. Just three short things for opening remarks. First is thoughts and prayers, of course, with all those in western Nebraska, dealing with 4 major fires, the largest fires in our state's history. As of half an hour ago, firefighters are making progress, but they're still certainly not contained yet. Omaha has 8 firefighters who have been dispatched, who were trained in rugged terrain and high water capacity delivery. So our thoughts are with them and for a safe return as well. And then I'll just note that today is the Omaha Chamber's 133rd birthday since its creation, an important entity for our business community here in town. I believe Mayor Ewing helped them celebrate that today. And then lastly, of course, I want to say happy St. Patrick's Day. We did just make the drive-by by Baird's Barley Corn. Looks like it's in full swing. So I just want to say everybody have fun and also be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
An affidavit of publication is on file, and a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in a white binder on the east wall of legislative chambers.
Good afternoon, everyone, and again, happy St. Patrick's Day, and thanks to Jerry, Ryans, Dan, and Jake, and John for hooking me up with this great coat that I'm wearing today that I'll wear every St. Patrick's Day, so welcome, everybody. As a courtesy to those in attendance and to facilitate the conduct of our business, we ask that you please silence or turn off all electronic devices. A reminder that you will have 3 minutes to speak on an agenda item. Please stay on topic. For those not participating in-person testimony, providing in-person testimony, and would like your comments entered into the public record, you can email the city clerk's office at cityclerk@cityofomaha.org. Council members receive these emails and we read them. Finally, council members may ask members of the audience back up for clarifying questions, but not for extra time to speak. I would also like to remind council members to speak directly into their microphones so audience members in attendance and at home can hear. And those that come up to the podium as well, make sure you speak directly with those microphones in front of you today. Thank you. We have a proclamation by Councilmember Festerson. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to offer a proclamation today in honor of a new effort in our community around age-friendly Omaha. So before I read it, I want to call up the steering committee to come to the podium from Spark and AARP and other participating organizations. Right to the podium there is fine. I'll read this, and then I know Councilmember Rowe will have a few remarks after I'm done. And then the floor is yours if you want to tell us a little bit more about your plans. Whereas the population of the United States is rapidly aging, and by 2030, 1 in 5 Americans will be age 65 or older, making an historic demographic shift. And whereas older adults represent a growing and vital part of Omaha's social, cultural, and economic fabric, and the city is committed to ensuring that all residents, regardless of age, can live, work, and thrive with dignity, inclusion, and opportunity. And whereas research from the World Health Organization and AARP demonstrates that communities designed to be age-friendly promote healthy aging, improve accessibility, and enhance the overall quality of life for people of all ages. And whereas the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities provides a framework and a 5-year cycle of continuous improvement to help cities identify community needs, develop action plans, implement inclusive policies, and evaluate progress. And whereas the Age-Friendly Omaha initiative is being led in partnership with Spark, in collaboration with local leaders, academic partners, and community organizations, and supported by AARP Nebraska. And whereas Omaha will utilize the 8 domains of livability developed by the World Health Organization, including transportation, housing, social participation, and communication and information. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of Omaha officially recognizes and celebrates the city's designation as an age-friendly community and commits to advancing the goals of the age-friendly network through inclusive assessment, community action planning, and ongoing collaboration with residents, local partners, and regional organizations to ensure that Omaha remains a city where people of all ages can live and thrive. Thank you for being here, and thank you for this initiative. Councilman Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Festerson. I'm looking at the crowd up here, the group up here, and I think I'm the only one that resembles this demographic. And so I wanted to say, a few words of thanks to the group, to Spark, to AARP, to the whole group that's putting this together. And I wanted to let people know that there is a survey online that I did take yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And it's located at agefriendlyomaha.org. And it's about a 15 or 20-minute survey, and it allows people that are 45 plus is who it's targeted to. And it goes through a whole series of different categories that you can give input on for this survey, that this survey will be used for input on that plan. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Appreciate the work you're doing, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, I just wanted to address the fact that it's St. Patrick's Day. I just got this cast on today, and they didn't have green. So Husker Red was the next best that I could go with. But thank you, Councilman Festerson, Councilman Rowe, and the City Council for recognizing this initiative. We just had a press conference yesterday with Mayor Ewing, who's supportive of this initiative, and we're really excited about the momentum here. Age Friendly Omaha is a community-driven initiative to create an Omaha where people of all ages can live, remain, and thrive. It's a 5-year planning process. We're in year 1. We just kicked off the Age Friendly survey that Councilman Rowe mentioned, and that first year is all about listening to the voices of older adults so that we understand where we are succeeding as a city and where we need to focus our energy over the next 5 years to make Omaha an age-friendly city. The survey is open now until May 1st. As Councilman Rowe mentioned, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. You can find the survey online at agefriendlyomaha.org. And it is open to older adults and anyone age 45 and up. It's a question we've gotten a lot is why does it start at 45? We often think of older adults as being older than 45. But if you think about it, it's a 5-year planning process. So older adults or adults that are 45 years today will be 50 by the time that first planning cycle is complete. And it's really an invitation for all of us to think about our own aging process and to start planning for our future and our city's future and making that age friendly. So Councilman Rowe, you might not be the only one on the council who's eligible. I'm not going to speculate on anyone's ages, but we really want to get as many people to take the survey as possible. That's the bedrock and the foundation for everything that comes after this. So thank you.
Ryan, can we get your name and address for the record?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
I was wondering if I'd have to do
Gotcha.
that. Ryan Zimmermas, address is 1111 North 13th Street, Suite 311.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything? All right.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Would it be appropriate to get a quick photo? Or? Sure. Yep. That would be great. If you guys want, we can each hold the proclamation.
Should we all stand behind you? Yeah. The line at 6 o'clock this morning.
Item 6, to consider a Class L liquor license for German American Society located at 3717 at South 120th Street.
The public hearing is now open on item number 6. Is the applicant here today? Present. Please come up. Good afternoon. Get
Afternoon.
your name and address for the record.
My name is Stephen Thedens, 4355 South 151st Street, here in Omaha.
Thank you. We may have some questions for you if you stay close by.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here for item 6? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 7, a resolution to approve the preliminary plat for Coffee Tree with a waiver to Section 5382B cul-de-sac length located northeast of 217th Street and West Center Road.
The public hearing is now open on item 7. Are there any proponents here today?
Good afternoon, Mark Johnson, 11440 West Center Road. I just got a text that said the engineer forgot. So I'm going to be leading the charge on behalf of the applicant today. I know there's a handful of folks in the audience today that are here to testify on the project, which I think is relatively straightforward. So I will just yield the floor, and I'm here to answer any questions, of course, as they come up. So thank you.
Thanks. Are there any other proponents here today? Item number 7. Seeing none, are there any opponents?
My name is Diana Vogt, 260 Regency Parkway Drive, Suite 200. I am here on behalf of the Skyline Woods Homeowners Association, and several people are here with me. I would like them to stand, and some of them will be addressing you after I'm done. Skyline Woods people? We're here today because we believe that there were covenants that were not considered by the planning board when they approved the preliminary plat. And those recorded covenants are contrary to both some of the things mentioned in the application to the planning board and contrary to the covenants. I have here, and it's too big to put on the thing, but this is a plat of Skyline Woods and the related subdivisions as they existed in 1990. After 1990, there was a court case, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, that limited the use of the property for covenants. It was only addressed in front of the planning board as a Supreme Court opinion. It wasn't addressed insofar as it might bind the property. This, believe it or not, and I would not ask anyone to read the whole thing, is the title insurance policy. These are the exceptions, the things that bind those properties. 2 of them are recordings of the maintenance requirements and the restrictions on zoning of the parcel that is now the subject of the preliminary plat. We are asking that the council either deny the certifying the final plat or send it back to the planning board so it can be properly considered and give the applicant a chance to actually talk to the residents and see if he can get their approval, because it can be changed. It can be changed if the homeowners, a sufficient number of them, want it. Now, my clients are not opposed to the golf club. They are not opposed to the golf course. But they are opposed to building any more houses on the area that is mandated by the covenants that run with the land to remain a green space. So that is from the legal standpoint, and we believe it's appropriate for that because even though normally the council will say, well, homeowners' covenants aren't our problem, in this case, they very much go with the land. And the Supreme Court opinion, in addition to setting those requirements, said, and they are enforceable to anyone who buys the property with notice. Having been recorded as part of the chain of title to these properties, the buyer now, the new buyer, was on notice legally of these restrictions on the property and purchased it anyway. So he needs to...
Ma'am, your 3 minutes is up, so thanks for coming down today. Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today who would like to speak?
Hi. A little taller.
Can I ask you to pull that one both
one?
those over to you so we can hear you. Perfect, thanks.
My name's Robin Vance. My address is 21934 Stanford Circle in Skyline Woods. I represent over 60 individuals that live in Skyline Woods neighborhood who are opposed to the development of these homes. They've signed a petition, and that was presented to the planning board before the February 4th meeting. There are others who are opposed, who are afraid to say anything for fear of retribution. One of the things that I wanted to reiterate that Diana very well spoke about is that many things were misrepresented to us in the very beginning, back at the December 2nd neighborhood meeting, where the owner said that these lots had been platted before, when in fact they had never been platted before. There was a conceptual drawing. Nothing on these homes was ever platted before. Approval of this would definitely cause litigation. We are that serious about it. We have read the Supreme Court ruling. There's a reason why the Supreme Court gave this litigation a final statement that this is 99 years. It's in that court ruling, 99 years. There's a reason they said that, because they knew that this would be ripe for other instances of wanting it to be developed. So 99 years is a long time. You know, there's other considerations, but those are all ancillary. But when you talk about this, traffic concerns coming out of Skyline Woods right now is already, you're taking your life in your own hands. And this kind of development would only add to that troubled spot. There's a reason why that this Supreme Court ruling was given 99 years. It's very specific about the nomenclature that's in the Supreme Court ruling, about how the property is to be kept. The title information that Diana showed is clear indication of the Supreme Court ruling. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents who would like to speak on item number 7?
Hi there.
Good afternoon.
My name is John Cermak. I live at 21629 Arbor Street in Skyline Woods. I am in opposition of the homes being built. One thing that I don't believe has been said yet is that the current owner plans to use, or indicated that he'd like to use SID funds to create the infrastructure for these new homes. And I'm in opposition because that, in my mind, is taxpayer money of the homeowners within the SID. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today?
My name's Doug White. I live Skyline Woods Villas, address 21222 Arbor Court. I'm in opposition, maybe from another perspective. The Nebraska Supreme Court ruled nothing doing. It can only be a golf course, limited use, not a development. You can't carve this out, put a cul-de-sac down, put 2 houses, 16 houses is all. And you're putting a cul-de-sac and you're carving it up. And the Nebraska Supreme Court says you could not change its use as the property was restricted to a golf course. I wonder if the Planning Commission, if the developer brought this up, and had they knowingly recommended this, if the City Council knowingly, they know it now, knowingly approved this, that's wrong. It's the law of the land. It goes with the land in perpetuity, in succession of owners. I've lived there 10 years, so right at 10 years, a little under 10 years. But it's limited to its use. And I've read this, and it was bound by employed restrictive covenants to maintain the land as a golf course. And it's a 25-page unanimous opinion, declared the developer who intended to turn the course into residential units could not change its use. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. I don't know why this has been adjudicated. This has been adjudicated already. This has been adjudicated by Skyline Woods versus Brockmeyer. And it's very clear to me, it remains as a golf course and not carved up, a beautiful area like that and carved up, creating more traffic, and it's nonsense.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Melton, you're recognized.
Thank you. I have a question to City Legal.
Me or Jennifer? Oh,
I think
Mancusi Law Department.
I think Ms. Taylor's getting up.
She seems anxious to address some statements.
Not anxious. It's my job.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. And you'll probably anticipate my questions, but I'll ask them anyway. And I wanted to know, do covenants on the land, if there are covenants that exist on the land, I mean, as I believe Ms. Vogt wouldn't stand up here and say that they were if they weren't. What does city planning, when we're considering zoning, does that come into play when our planning department or the city council is determining whether to vote on zoning? What do we look at for purposes of approval?
Jennifer Taylor, City Law Department. Obviously, we look at covenants and restrictions on the land when they're presented to us, but in general, covenants are not, the city is not an individual that can enforce covenants. Covenants are generally private documents, private contracts between private property owners. So we have always taken the position that it's not the city's responsibility to enforce covenants. Otherwise, we'd be enforcing all the covenants with every HOA everywhere. So, and it's not the city's role to adjudicate whether or not the covenant is being violated or not being violated. In this specific instance, I am very aware of the Nebraska Supreme Court opinion. I've read it. I've discussed it repeatedly with all the different developments that have come in. So, very familiar with it. But it is not the planning department nor the legal department's role to act as judicial oversight over whether or not those covenants are or are not being violated. I think Mr. Johnson would assert that he believes that they are not in violation of the Supreme Court opinion and the existing covenants. The Homeowners Association believes that this project is. It is not the city's responsibility to act as judge in that respect. So we have respectively told both parties, and I have spoken with both attorneys before and after the planning board hearing, that is our position. If the project believes that it is not in violation, we will administer and approve it in accordance with our city code and our administrative responsibilities. If there is an objection or an argument that it is in violation, that is for the parties who are the beneficiaries of those covenants to enact and enforce.
Okay, so that's not something that city takes a position on.
No.
By voting on this, we're not saying that we believe covenants exist or don't exist, and in fact, it's not something that I should be considering in deciding whether to vote or not. That
is our position, and yes, that is correct, because otherwise it puts the law department, planning board, and even this council in the role of judge, which is a role that we are not playing necessarily in this situation. So you are to review, and the planning board reviewed the application in accordance with the city's municipal code, planning department regulations, and everything else. But the covenants are private contracts that are enforceable between the parties. The city is not going to enter into that and adjudicate the proper use, or violations are not violations.
Okay, and so the city is not taking any position on whether the developer is in violation of the covenant.
Correct.
Regardless of how we vote today, we're not taking a position on that. That is something that should be left to the parties, and they may or may not have legal claims, but that's not, the city should.
But that is not
You're
our
advising
position.
the city should not get involved in the legal determination.
It is not the city's position to act as judge and jury on a matter that does not involve us necessarily. And I have expressed this and explained this to every planning board member before the planning board hearing, and I have spoken to both attorneys representing both sides of the case and explained this to them as well.
And I think that's important. I just wanted to understand what our role is and what we should be basing our decision off of, and that we're not taking a position. It could be a violation, may not be a violation, but we don't consider that here today. That's not our role. I don't like to step outside my role, which is why I called you up to kind of present the kind of the legal case of this isn't our legal case.
Correct. And then again, to be fair, I'm with the understanding that the applicant believes that this project does not violate the Supreme Court opinion or any existing covenants. So again, you have parties who have two different legal opinions. It is not the city law department, this council, or the planning board's job to make any adjudication as to whether or not there is a violation. That is not our role.
Okay. Thank you for making that clarification. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Jennifer, don't go too far. I was going to ask very similar questions. I know I had received a letter from Mr. White, or an email from Mr. White, and had checked with the law department about that. That was shortly after the planning board case. And I'm glad you made it clear that, because one party believes one thing and another on covenants that we don't have any say over. And I think I explained that in my response to Mr. White as well too, that if someone does feel aggrieved after the action that may or may not happen today, then any member who has standing can certainly bring that forward.
Correct.
Is that correct?
But it is not this council or the city's responsibility or actually proper place to make what is really a judicial decision.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. As there's no further lights, we have a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. No lights. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Items 8 through 10 can be considered together for MUD State Street, located northwest of 195th and State Streets. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Item 8, an ordinance to rezone this property from AG District to DR District. Item 9, a resolution to approve the final plat. Item 10, a resolution to approve the subdivision agreement.
Public hearing is now open on items 8 through 10. Applicant here today.
Yes, Mr. President. Jim Bouger, 10250 Regency Circle, here on behalf of Metropolitan Utilities District. This is final plat, zoning, subdivision agreement approval for a water distribution facility at 195th and State. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here on items 8 through 10? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Goodwin. Harding. Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 11, an ordinance to rezone property located at 3131 at South 156th Street from DR District to R4 District. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval.
Public hearing is now open. Item number 11. Applicants, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Caleb Van Wilden with Lamperneerson, 147110 West Dodge Road. Here with me is Jeremy Moore, president of Scott Catholic. We are here to answer any questions, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here today? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding. Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you all.
Consent agenda. Any member of the City Council may cause any item placed on the consent agenda to be removed. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be taken up by the City Council immediately following the consent agenda in the order in which they were removed, unless otherwise provided by the City Council Rules of Order.
Public hearings on agenda items 12 through 14 were held on March 10th, 2026. Any discussion? Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding. Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
anything we can do on that. Can you move those maybe apart? I don't know. Thanks. The public hearing on agenda items 15 through 27 are today. If you wish to address the City Council regarding these items, please come to the microphone, indicate the agenda item number you wish to address, identify yourself by your name, address, who you represent, and if you're a proponent or opponent. The public hearing is now open. Are there any proponents on items 15 through 27? Seeing none, are there any opponents?
I thought that was thunder there for a minute. Larry Store, 5015 Lafayette Avenue, Omaha 68132. I guess I want to comment on all of them since I'm not restricted to only one item according to the rule. So I'm against all of them, but specifically 25 and 27. I don't know that the citizens of Omaha gave anybody permission to do business with another state, particularly one just across the river. Sounds friendly, but we want our government to be unique to us, not to another state, not even to another city. So I'm against it. I think it should be overruled and removed from the agenda as not being according to the citizens of Omaha's wishes. At least you should debate the reasons for this. And if we're going to end up being a multi-state thing, like the county wants of Quint County, which is 5 counties, and when will the citizens get to vote on these changes of increasingly bigger government that works against us instead of for us? Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents?
Good afternoon. Omaha City Council, Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. Number 27, I don't know if this generation is aware, in the Great Gatsby era, there was a lot of crime being committed and people faking mental illness. Can we take some of that tobacco tax money to prove that a lot of mental illness is fake and that we shouldn't be giving Douglas County money? Because people was committing crime and then they pretend something wrong, doctors submit them for 6 months and they back out on the street. We think this behavior is coming back. Do history repeat itself? Maybe, I don't know. But we'll take some of that tax money to help us grow some medical marijuana to see if it's okay.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents on items 15 through 27? Can you come again? Yeah, Lori, you already spoke once on these items, 15 through 27.
Yes, the Open Meetings Act says we can comment on each and every one.
Larry,
so,
you've
like
already spoken
the law
once.
Here, sir.
You've already spoken once on
Open
these,
Meetings
Lori.
Act says I can comment.
Mr. Kuzi, can you please respond? Mr. Kuzi?
Matt Kuzi.
Larry,
Kuzi
please
Law
let me have the
Department.
attorney. You have already spoken. I'm getting a ruling from the city attorney if you'll allow me to do that. Thank you.
It's the law department's position that
Larry-
you do not get to speak on every
Larry, we're
single
getting-
agenda
thank
item.
you.
And it's under the rules about how the conduct of the speech is.
Thank you. Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. As it relates to item number 25, that is something that we do annually. I'll ask Mr. Fanslow to explain the relationship and the reason for the home funds in that program.
Yeah, Dave Fanslow, City Planning. I see Kelly coming down. I'll do my best, and then she'll fill in
Kelly,
any
sorry,
gaps.
I didn't
But
see you there.
it's a agreement, part of our funding. We've historically had a partnership with Council Bluffs to distribute some of our home and block grant monies across the river, and this is just a renewal of that. Kelly?
Thank you. I don't know, Kelly, if you had anything else.
Yeah, Kelly Johnson Dorsey, Planning Department. So Omaha is large enough, we are an entitlement community, so we automatically receive a certain percentage of federal home dollars based on 6 factors, right? Council Bluffs is not large enough to receive their own allocation, so we, since they are adjacent to us, which is an entitlement community, we can be in a consortium together. So we actually receive more funds annually because that portion then is entitled to Council Bluffs. So we do have agreements that 2 weeks ago you passed an extension of one, formalizing this agreement with Council Bluffs. So they receive an allocation. They have not received that for several years, so that's why the portion is so large right now, because they have not used their portion in several years. But we do keep 10% to admin the projects.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Goodwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, and Councilmember Begley, along with Dave Fanslaw and Kelly really kind of wrapped it up, that we have partnerships with adjacent cities. They're considered the metro area, and these are federal dollars. So to be clear, these dollars are not city dollars that are being given away. It's simply almost like a fiscal agents type situation where these funds are received. And my understanding, being on the planning committee, and actually a separate meeting I had with city planning last week, was that this was, this almost $800,000 was an accumulative over a course of years, which I think Kelly mentioned. And so it's really a matter of a partnership. We partner in the metro area on various things, especially when it comes to housing. And so I would see this in alignment of how we normally do business, and it's really nothing new. So I just wanted to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to approve items 15 through 27.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. No further lights. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 28, an ordinance to approve the Mariah Intergenerational Center Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Agreement. A is amendment of the whole requested by the Planning Department.
Council discussion. Is there a motion?
Amendment of the whole.
Got a motion and a second for amendment of the whole. No further lights. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 29, a resolution to approve the nomination of Tessie O. Edwards Avenue as a commemorative street name on Western Avenue from 72nd Street to 74th Street.
Public hearing is now open on item number 29. I believe we have someone via Zoom. Sure. Ms. Yancey, can you hear me? Oh, can we?
She's unmuted.
I think you're muted. Try it again.
I can hear you, yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Can we get your name and your address for the record? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Yancey. The address is 4001 Nebraska Avenue, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20016.
Thank you for being here today. Are there any other proponents here today? Please come out. I knew there'd be a couple.
My name is Bob Caniglia, 3201 Dodge Court, Omaha 68131. Would we be able to introduce Sean to the council before she begins her testimony? Sean Yancey is the grandniece of Tessie Edwards. She is a multiple Emmy and Edward R. Murray Award winner, and she is the evening anchor of the NBC News affiliate Channel 4 in Washington, D.C. So if we could begin with her testimony.
Sure.
Sean?
Bob, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you all. Good afternoon to the honorable members of the Omaha City Council. I come to you as a proud Omaha native myself who now lives in the Washington, D.C. region, to humbly ask you to vote yes to the commemorative renaming of Western Avenue from 72nd Street to 74th Street as Tessie O. Edwards Avenue. I'm honored to share a few words on behalf of my own family. My mother, who is an Omaha native, Pamela Campbell Yancey, and my grandmother, Pamela Edwards Campbell, who is a 101-year-old resident still of Omaha, Nebraska, about her sister and my great aunt, Tessie Olivia Edwards, and the impact that she had on my life in the city of Omaha. To me, Aunt Tessie was grace in human form. From the time I was a child, she spoke so much about the power of education, the importance of using language carefully, and the responsibility we all have to serve others with dignity and purpose. She carried herself with a quiet confidence and an unwavering sense of right and wrong. She never demanded attention, yet her presence was unforgettable. Although I did not grow up in Omaha, I grew up hearing her name spoken with deep respect. I knew her as my great aunt, but also understood that she was so much more: an educator, a mentor, a community leader whose influence reached far beyond my own family. She believed that education opened doors, strengthened families, shaped futures, and she dedicated her life to making sure that opportunity was more accessible to others. I recently learned she was a giant to one of our most famous Omahans, Kathy Hughes, who is the founder of Radio One and now Urban One. In a recent interview with Kathy told me my great aunt used to come to her house every Sunday because she was friends with her parents, and that she was one of the biggest influences on her life, teaching her history and English and the importance of education. My great aunt Tessie's legacy lives on in people like Kathy Hughes, places like Creighton Prep, where she headed the history department, and also through the Black Student Catholic Scholarship Fund of Omaha, which my Aunt Tessie founded to ensure that Black students had greater access to education within the Catholic high schools in Omaha. That work reflects at her core who she was. She saw a need, she stayed committed, she helped create lasting change for hundreds of people who may not have otherwise had access to Catholic education. That impact continues to ripple through generations, as you will see and you will hear today. My Aunt Tessie was not only a giant in the community, she was a giant in my life. She was loving, she was spirited, she was thoughtful, she was deeply principled. I adored her, and I carry her lessons with me each and every day of my own life. I'm proud of who she was, proud of what she stood for, and deeply grateful for the example she set. It is a privilege to support any effort to recognize her life and legacy. Naming a street in her honor feels fitting for a woman who helped so many other people find their way forward. She was extraordinary,
Miss Yancey,
and Omaha is better because of her.
I hate to do this, but you only get 3 minutes, and I'm the worst person in the world to stop those wonderful words for your great aunt.
I'm finished. Thank you so
You were
much.
on a
I
roll.
appreciate your time.
You were great.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak as a proponent? Mr.
Back.
Paglia.
I get to follow Sean.
3 minutes. You're ready to roll.
When Bill Gast and I began this project 2 months ago, it was truly a labor of love for a teacher who changed so many young lives, including our own. But we only knew of Miss Edwards' life at Creighton Prep and St. Pius X. As we began our research, it quickly became a journey of discovery. Tessie Edwards was a woman on a mission from a very young age. As an early civil rights activist in the 40s and 50s, she broke down racial barriers and opened many doors for others to walk through. Her career was one first after another. First African American teacher hired by the Omaha Archdiocese in 1958. One of the first African American women graduates at Creighton University. First woman to chair the history department at Creighton Prep. But for all of her accomplishments, we believe her greatest achievement came in her retirement with the founding of the Black Student Scholarship Fund in 1993. In 2014, 2 years after her passing, the fund was renamed the Miss Tessie O. Edwards Memorial Scholarship in tribute to her 46 years of teaching, 23 of those years at Prep. Since its inception, the fund has created 473 Tessie scholars. These young students were able to continue their education at Catholic high schools throughout the city. I can't think of a better lasting legacy. Well, except maybe a Memorial Street sign at Creighton Prep. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents here today?
My name is Matt Holland. I live at 3401 Martha Street, number 9E, Omaha 68105. I am here in support of renaming a section of Western Avenue after Tessie Edwards. And with that in mind, I'd like to provide some insight into Miss Edwards' early life and the historic efforts that she took part in before becoming the distinguished educator remembered and loved by scores of students. In 1948, 3 years after graduating from Omaha Central High School, Tessie Edwards joined a pioneering civil rights group called the Omaha DePorres Club. While taking a full load of classes at Creighton University, she became one of the group's quiet leaders, organizing events, scheduling speakers, writing editorials, and serving as the club's corresponding secretary. She also helped plan and organize the club's early boycotts against Omaha businesses that refused to hire African Americans. In May of 1950, she worked alongside Omaha Urban League Director Whitney Young to negotiate an agreement that ended a boycott that targeted the Omaha Coca-Cola Bottling Company, an agreement that required Coke to publicly announce an end to their discriminatory hiring policies. 60 years later, I interviewed Miss Edwards in her home. She was 84 years old. I vividly recall her presence, a quiet pride and self-assuredness as she described her role in the DePorres Club's pioneering fight against systemic racism in Omaha. Downplaying her efforts, Miss Edwards recalled that she didn't see herself as an activist, but as a thinker, a planner, and as an example. As Miss Edwards put it, I decided that doing the very best I could, encouraging people, being knowledgeable and talking to people, different groups of people, would be the best thing. And she spent her life doing just that, for her students and for the Omaha community. This street renaming is a wonderful way to remember and honor that example.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents here?
You want to go first, Father? Go ahead. Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. I too benefited from some of these programs back in the 70s through Mayor Lay and St. Benedict and Brother Wilmot over at Creighton Prep. So Mrs. Yancey, since you're in Washington, D.C., would you mention to them that we have a new House of Representatives named Mr. Harding coming there and start looking for him a house? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mike Beacom, 17618 Hanover Street in Bennington. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of what Miss Edwards means to Creighton Prep. I am the Director of Alumni Relations at Prep, and Miss Edwards not only taught me 45 years ago, but as I returned to Prep for a nearly 35-year career that continues today, she was a colleague of mine in those early years. It doesn't take defining the school's mission of forming young men of faith, scholarship, leadership, and service in the Catholic and Jesuit tradition to measure the value of what Miss Edwards meant to our school. She was a living example of those qualities from the moment she arrived on campus, leaving a legacy of the same for others to emulate as well after her retirement. But let's go ahead for a moment and use the mission statement as a way to illustrate this impact that she had on the school and generations of young men, shaping students as productive citizens and men of conscience that would be challenged to make a difference in their communities. As for faith, Miss Edwards was a faithful servant to the spirituality she held in her heart, modeling each day how our guiding patron saint, St. Ignatius, would want her students to live out their lives for the greater glory of God. As for scholarship, Miss Edwards was on the leading edge of her academic discipline, social studies generally, but world history specifically, which was evident with her encyclopedic knowledge of every page, of every chapter, of every unit that she ever taught. In present-day terms, she would be the go-to or phone-a-friend expert to backstop AI platforms like Grok or ChatGPT. As for leadership, Miss Edwards was a true leader in both patience and professionalism. If you consider teaching high school boys, it's like herding cats. Miss Edwards was a gentle but firm leader in the classroom, always in control and on task, while her stewardship of prep students in activities outside the classroom was a remarkable display of both leadership and patience, teaching young men like me to be leaders in our world and not followers. And as for service, Miss Edwards was honored to serve, giving back to school or beyond the classroom in Omaha, giving extra time to serve the common good meant tutoring, leading extracurriculars, and taking on added responsibility as the social studies department chair. What her students saw, however, was extraordinary, providing meaning and impact to the notion of to those whom much is given, much is expected in return. So in closing, Miss Edwards was an exceptional educator and leader. She was a legend. She literally changed the lives of generations of students. This street naming initiative adjacent to Prep's campus would be a fitting way to honor her life and legacy. She meant so much to the Prep community and to those that had the good fortune of knowing her. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for your consideration of this initiative.
Thanks for being here today. Are there any other proponents? Last but not least, maybe.
Stop it. Good morning. I'm Bill Gast. My address is 918 Edgewood Boulevard in Papillion. Although I live in Papillion now, I'm still an Omaha boy. I grew up near. Oh gosh, Aaron. I'm sorry. Aaron's supposed to be next.
Second, last but not least, it's okay.
Laura Hickman. I'm here representing Duchesne Academy. I live in Plattsmouth, 510 Avenue E in Plattsmouth. But I am the principal at Duchesne, and I am here as a proponent for the naming of Tessie Edwards Street as the principal of young women who have received the assistance from the fund that she created. I have to say that she continues to change the lives of young Omahans in very powerful ways, and they continue to do incredible things. I am incredibly proud of, I received a list from our business office of the young women who are currently receiving these funds. Every single one of them are young women of the values that Tessie Edwards represented. I'm also going to share that her students probably did not know that she was also very involved in supporting young teachers. I got to know Tessie when I was a young teacher in 1991. She became a mentor to me as I began my teaching career at Duchesne Academy. And this is a woman who has really quietly, behind the scenes, formed so many wonderful relationships and future changes for the city of Omaha, and I think she is very deserving of a street in her honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Other proponents?
Hi, everybody. Erin Grace. I'm here in my personal capacity, 3423 Webster Street, Omaha 68131. So I'm a product of the Omaha Catholic Schools, and I also was a high school teacher in South Louisiana through a program called Teach for America, which put teachers in some underserved public schools in the United States. And it wasn't until I came back to Omaha as a reporter that I got to meet Miss Edwards for a story awarding scholarships to that year's awardees of the Black Catholic Scholarship Fund. And it wasn't until I was a reporter as a young adult that I even understood this world of Black Catholics as a product of the Catholic school system. So as a history teacher, I think that Ms. Edwards offered a living example of the history that surrounds us that we may not always know, even though we live here and we're a product of these institutions. And so I'd like to read a quote. This wasn't one that I wrote, and this was actually one that she said in 1995 for a World Herald story about her efforts. She said at the time that the goal of what was called the Black Student Scholarship Fund was to increase the number of Black students in Catholic high schools. She said at the time, quote, "It's good for the minority student and it's good for the majority student. They will learn to get along with each other because they will know each other." And I think that quote all these years later really resonates, that we don't know each other until we're sitting next to each other, especially in the classroom. So I'm a big fan of this effort. I love the idea of her name gracing a street outside an all-boys Catholic high school. I probably say that as a point of pride as a Marian girl. So I'm all for this effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll try again. We put this together pretty quickly, and I didn't recognize them. I'm Bill Gast again. I live at 918 Edgewood Boulevard, Papillion. But I grew up within walking distance of St. Pius, where I had Miss Edwards as a history teacher and social studies in 8th grade, and Creighton Prep, which is about 6 blocks from my home. One other person who wanted to come here today was Preston Love, and I'm going to quickly mention him because we have to thank him for being here. Bob and I came up with this idea 10 weeks ago this very day while making sandwiches for our homeless friends near Holy Family Community Center. And after we agreed to pursue it, I said, you know what this means, don't you? And Bob said, yep, we got to go see Preston. So we went out to the North Omaha Visitor Center. And if you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful place, and there's an important part of Omaha history right up on the wall for all to see. But if you know Preston, you'll believe two things. His advice was sage, and his encouragement was like a shot of adrenaline on the arm. And you'll also believe that the very last thing he said was, now don't go and screw it up. That's Preston. God love him, but we owe him a great deal. Last thing I want to do is just thank a few people. Father Matthew Spots of Creighton Prep. He's the president. He's also on the board of directors of Marquette High School, where my grandson's going to graduate here in about 3 months. Father Spots was very gracious. He did his due diligence on Miss Edwards, and when he gave his approval, it was a huge shot in the arm. Also want to thank two young gentlemen, Creighton Prep students who did the heavy-duty research in the Creighton Prep archives, acquiring the pictures that we put in our materials. And lastly, after the newspaper article came out, Bob and I heard from a lot of people with a lot of tidbits that would be interesting, but one to mention here, and this is a student, and I'm going to read from his email to Bob. It's the last page of the green tab section. It didn't get his name or his permission to use his name here, so I won't. But I'm going to quote him. My mother worked in the business office when we were there, at a time when the office had a cash register and the main counter and tuition payments were tracked on ledger cards. Years later, she told me that Miss Edwards would come into the office from time to time, give my mother some cash, and tell her to apply it to a student's tuition bill without telling the student where it came from. That says it all for me. I want to thank Miss Edwards for what you did for me and what you've done for this community. Thank you all.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. There's a lot of good material here. Everybody, we good? Okay, thank you. Are there any opponents today?
Would you verify the item number for me?
Item 29.
Well, I'm against it, not necessarily the concept. But all of these little speeches were presentations, sir, not proponents of the specific wording of this item. You allowed presentations here. It should have been at the beginning of the meeting as a presentation.
Excuse me, Larry, they had 3 minutes to speak.
You've never let me go off the topic, one sentence off the topic, and you kicked me out
I've
for
been
it.
consistent.
You're not
Please
following
remove
your own-
Larry. He's disrupting the meeting. You're removed, Larry. You're removed from the meeting. Cut the mic. Thank you. You're removed. Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Festerson, you're recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Ms. Yancey, for being with us today and representing the family. Your remarks were great. I can tell you had the camera presence and the timing of a pro in the news business. And thank you all to all the testifiers today. Really great stories about a deserving honor here. She obviously had a lot of impact on her students and a lot of people in Omaha. After that first story, I also received a lot of unsolicited comments from people from throughout the city who knew her or had her as a teacher, all very complimentary, some with some funny stories, but all very supportive of what we're doing here today, including Ms. Grace that you heard from here, and then also right behind us, Mr. Kuzi, our city attorney. Actually, I had her as a freshman at Prep High School, so I guess he turned out okay.
We're working on him.
She did a good job. And then to Bill and Bob, your passion on this project has been very evident. I've appreciated your communication with me on it. You did all the legwork too, in terms of making sure we have talked to all the neighbors nearby. John A. Gentleman, who's here and is supportive of this designation, and of course Creighton Prep itself. Had a very nice email exchange with Father Spots over the weekend too about this, and I know Prep is represented today, so it's great to have that kind of consensus. I see there's some other lights, so with that, I'll just go ahead and move approval.
Got a motion and a second. Councilmember Melton, you're recognized.
Well, as a proud Creighton Prep mom, alum mom, is what I am. I'm so proud of Creighton Prep for doing this, and I think it really speaks men for others that you chose to put Miss Edwards' name on the sign outside of Creighton Prep. It makes me very, very proud. I'm proud of the school that you are, because I spent many years with my sons at Creighton Prep. So just very proud of Creighton Prep, proud of the students, and what Miss Edwards, she taught many of my friends as a 91 grad. I had many friends at Creighton Prep, so who had Miss Edwards and remember her very fondly. And I think everybody is very happy that you decided to name that street after Miss Edwards. And I want to note, I saw in her past, she also has served on the Duchenne board and the Merriam board at one point in her career. So she was serving the ladies as well as the men in our town. So I think it's absolutely fabulous. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And Ms. Yancey, I'll say, if you can hear me, a friend of mine, a lot of friends of mine went to Creighton Prep, and one of them was graduated in 1976. And as I was having a refreshment with him, when this first came up, I asked him if he knew Miss Edwards, and he went on for quite a while on the impact on his life from Pius and then Creighton Prep, that the reverence and respect he spoke in honor of your aunt, it was really neat to hear that even before I heard from everybody that was here today and reading on the wonderful life of touching others. Even silently, we hear today on things she did to help people pay their tuition and not wanting to be recognized for it. I think in this world where there's a lot of polarization, my mom is in heaven with your aunt, and she was a history teacher as well. And I always lean on what she taught me. In hearing about your aunt, it really does give me grace to know that there's people out there that touch lives, and there's good people that are still out there. So we got to remember that in this world. And that's why I'm going to be totally thrilled and honored to support this today. So thanks for everybody being here today. No further lights. We had a motion and a second. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 30, a resolution to approve the nomination of Douglas W. Krenzer Drive as a commemorative street name on Ridgewood Avenue from Pacific Street to Poppleton Avenue.
Public hearing is now open on item number 30. Are there any proponents here today? Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Dana Blakely. My address is 1204 South 99th Street. I am representing the Westside Board of Education, and it's my pleasure to do so. We first want to thank you all for your time and consideration of this matter. Doug Krenzer was not only an upstanding member of our city and an invaluable member of the Westside School Board and community, but he was genuinely one of the most decent humans I've ever had the privilege of calling my colleague and friend. His ties to the Loveland neighborhood and school run deep. His parents still live just a few blocks from the school. Loveland has been one of our most challenging schools to address in our district facility plan. We needed a decade to purchase the land and to be able to build a school that met our ed specs. We needed equally as long to come up with a design that both honored the past as well as brought us into the future. In the meantime, we needed to repave a badly run-down street, which involved building consensus with the neighbors and arriving at a conclusion that had everyone put some skin in the game. Doug Krenzer was integral in helping many of these things happen. His compassion, enthusiasm, knowledge, and genuineness helped us address the issues with Loveland Drive in a way that was fiscally responsible to our community, but also acknowledged our commitment to the neighborhood. Though we had several ideas of how to best honor Doug's contributions to Westside, the renaming of the portion of Loveland Drive in his honor was the most fitting. It absolutely exemplifies his impact, commitment, and dedication to the school district. After battling cancer for several years, achieving the above accomplishments while doing so, He lost his fight almost 3 years ago. He is deeply missed, and we sincerely appreciate your consideration in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents here today? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Festerson, you're recognized.
Thanks, Mr. President, and thanks, Ms. Blakely, for your testimony and for your service on the District 66 School Board. Doug was actually a constituent of mine, and I had many interactions with him over the years, and those were some of the same words I was thinking of when you spoke, that he was such a gentleman and civil and productive in all his dealings as a school board member. But then, as you referenced, he was also involved in a couple of difficult and kind of controversial street projects, one of which was Ridgewood, and one of which was actually the street on his block that he helped resolve favorably for him and for his neighbors. So I know that was his approach on the school board too. I'm pleased to support this today. I know that you and Mr. Yale and others have done all the legwork on this one as well, talking to the school and neighbors and advocates, all of whom were supportive and have great consensus on this. So I believe this is actually Mr. Bagley's district, so to get it on the floor, I'll go ahead and motion approval.
I'll second. Thank you, Mr. Festerson. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Thanks, Mr. President. So I'm the father of two children who went through the West Side school system and got to know Doug, not only through that role, but as Mr. Festerson noted, on the I think we were doing an RMD for his cul-de-sac, if I remember right. But just knowing the man and knowing how involved and how much he loved the community, this is such a nice honor for him and really for his family as well too. He did great work both as a school board member, but most importantly as a dad. And I know his family misses him and our community misses him, and this is a noble honor for Doug. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll comment, I never had the pleasure of meeting Doug, but in his own way, he made me a better council member in reference to that Ridgewood Street when I got on the council and trying to figure out heads or tails on that. And I really dove in and tried to understand the issue, and it was because of the group that he organized and was part of that helped us get through that. And looking at all the letters of support that on his behalf here today, it's pretty powerful tribute to him, and I'm glad to be supporting this renaming today in his honor. So thanks for being here today. No further lights. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Yes. Goodwin. Yes. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Yes. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 31.
Sorry, one more.
Personal privilege.
Please.
Meant
Councilmember Harding
I
recognized.
wanted to thank Dana for her service on the board too, because I think you are going off, are you not? May 31st. May 31st. Thank you for your service to the community as well too.
Absolutely.
Sorry. That's okay.
Item 31, an ordinance to approve an agreement with Metropolitan Utilities District for the collection of sewer use fees.
Public hearing is now open on item 31. Are there any proponents?
Good afternoon. Omaha City Council, Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street in North Omaha Concerned Citizens Foundation. It was Mr. HUD is missing, and we had an agreement today that but he's not here. And I want to wish these councilmen a happy St. Patrick's Day, but he was supposed to also say that we're supposed to introduce the new Kingsbury-Moxbury rules. The old ones are not working.
Donnie, this is on the agreement for MUD for the sewer fees.
Yeah, but they said no boxing, no biting, no gouging. We want that new program of the Kingsbury-Moxbury rule brought back to the table. Well, but Mr. Hud's missing, so
Donnie,
we can't discuss it.
We're on item 31, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other proponents here? Seeing none, are there any opponents on item 31? Public hearing is closed.
Item 32, an ordinance to accept the bid of Miller & Sons Golf Cars in the total amount of $607,680 for the lease of 144 gas-powered golf cars.
Public hearing is now open on item 32. Are there any proponents here today? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Non-action items, items 33 through 52, do not require public hearing or city council consideration at this meeting, but will be placed on a future agenda for public hearing and/or vote. The reason for non-action is noted after the item on the agenda, as well as the date the item is expected to appear on an agenda for consideration.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call.
Rowe. Festerson. Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Melton. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0. Meeting is adjourned at 3:10.